In my previous introduction, where I was saying that most of the speakers have really stuck onto the theme, which is a beautiful thing to see. And mine is not very different in the sense that, yes, I want to look at AI, I want to look at ethics in connection with the future of patents, where I feel that interdisciplinary pathways for global innovation are in order. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to one and all. It is indeed my honor to deliver this keynote at the World Summit Patent Gen Beta 2025. Here, we explore, briefly though, how AI, ethics, and patents intersect in shaping the future of global research and innovation. Having said that, I want us to look at the role of patent. Generally, as already been said by previous speakers, patents protect and incentivize innovation. I think the previous two speakers have really buttressed that point, because in one sense, they also drive economic growth and competitiveness. If you look at Professor Barra's presentation, it was business competitiveness and the use of patents. So there is also a knowledge transfer across academia, because people present, they defend, and until they file. So there is that knowledge transfer across academia, industry, and society as a whole. So here we are seeing that patents are not just legal instruments. They are vehicles for knowledge economies, of fueling innovation and enabling society to benefit from the intellectual progress. Here, let's look at the global research landscape, where we see that there is rapid acceleration of AI-driven research. We also see the growth of interdisciplinary collaborations. Just this morning, we were shown one of the participants here who has actually made a visit to India with a view to enhancing collaboration across continents, which is something that is very much supported by our platform as this one, in particular this conference. There is also a shift towards sustainability and social impact, which has been emphasized by our honorable president. So today's research landscape is fast moving. AI accelerates discovery, but I think the big shift is towards interdisciplinary and socially responsible research. Here, AI is now both a tool and a creator, right? AI is now both a tool and a creator. This raises fundamental questions that I would like us to engage in about who owns AI-generated knowledge. Is it humans, corporations, or the algorithms themselves? That is the question. Who owns the AI? Thank you. The issue was about my this Zoom covering my slides. So, anyways, the big question was who owns AI generated knowledge? Is it humans, corporations, or the algorithms themselves? So that shows us that AI generates novel inventions. For example, in drug discovery, a huge impact on society, especially our vulnerable groups. There is automating of prior art searches and patent drafting, which is made possible because of AI. So it's a question of efficiency. This is ownership challenges. We want to be efficient, but at the same time, we have this big question on ownership. I'm just bringing it up so that we can see that the discussion is quite wide. It's quite wide. So, as you can see, this is a pressing legal and ethical debate. If AI invents, do we credit the programmer, the user, or the AI itself? Well, the answers will vary by jurisdiction because there is legal ambiguity across jurisdictions. We have the balance between human inventorship versus machines. And how is the ethical responsibility for the inventions guaranteed in this whole process? So it is indeed a pressing legal and ethical debate which needs our attention, which really requires our attention. Here, I want to advocate for interdisciplinary research, because I feel it is empowering. Because interdisciplinary research is the engine of modern innovation. When chemists, engineers, social scientists, and ethicists collaborate, they create truly transformative solutions. So innovation then happens at the boundaries. Look at STEM and social sciences and humanities. There's that intersection of interdisciplinary research power, which would be very, very impactful to our society in general and communities in particular. For example, AI and biotechnology has led to precision medicine. If we look at renewable energy, and AI has led to smart grids, off-grid, hybrid grid, etc., in terms of power provision. If we look at AI and education, it has led to research democratization to a very huge extent. So these examples here, they show how patents increasingly represent collaborations between disciplines. So AI is a connector across domains, right? Yes, there are ethical questions as has already been mentioned previously by other speakers, but ethical considerations become an urgent situation when innovations affect health. What is the effect of this innovation on human health or animal health? Food, because we consume all the food or most of the food anyway, which will be research products as well. So what about indigenous communities? What are the ethical considerations when it comes to patents? So here is a question that I want us to think about. Access versus exclusivity, say in the global south. We have helicopter research, people coming in, do their research, fly out of the continent. So are we making this accessible and inclusive or exclusive in the global south? There are issues of biopiracy and indigenous knowledge misuse. Yes, communities complain that researchers come in, they simply ask people, they gather their data, and that's it. They forget about these communities. Is there fair benefit sharing in innovation? Does the research benefit the communities? So I think these are questions that we really need to ask ourselves as researchers to say, where do we stand in terms of inclusivity, in terms of respect for indigenous knowledge systems, as well as fair benefit sharing in these innovations, because these are indeed ethical questions that need to be addressed, or at least us becoming aware of such inconsistencies that have been picked up by other researchers. So patents must balance private rights and public good. I think that's how patents would feel in. So let's look at how we can avoid this epistemicide, where we are saying epistemicide is the killing of knowledge systems. Ethical patent systems must acknowledge and integrate indigenous contributions rather than try to erase them. That means respecting local and indigenous knowledge as researchers, leading to patent filing, leading to publications. Let's integrate traditional practices with modern science. Yes, it's part of indigenous knowledge systems, but the fact that it's traditional does not make it less useful or less important. So ensuring, there is need to ensure that patents, they do not erase cultural heritage. And if you look at alternative medicine, India, China, they have kept their, cultural heritage in as far as herbs, in as far as, alternative medicine practices are concerned. And for me, that is a way of respecting local and indigenous knowledge, avoiding the cultural heritage erasure. So avoiding epistemicide is a call to action to say, in our research, in our quest for patent filing, are we aware of such possibilities? And if so, how do we mitigate? How do we avoid these inconsistencies? Another part is to look at green patents and sustainability. Yes, patents supporting climate smart technologies. We see this in agriculture, we see this in farming, we see this in weather, prediction systems or models, where the patents have been developed in supporting climate smart technologies, renewable energy and carbon sequestration or reduction solutions. Here, we see that green patents are vital for achieving our SDGs. They address environmental crises while also driving equitable economy growth to some extent. We can also look at innovations vis-a-vis climate change, where we say that the climate crisis has shifted patent priorities. Innovations in waste to energy, cities are now gathering waste to produce energy, and recycling, they are now as valuable as traditional industrial patents. Who thought that that could be a niche for researchers? So clean energy patents are rapidly increasing. Yes, waste to energy and recycling technology are also on the rise because of the waste problem, especially plastic waste. Cities are looking at alternatives, and that's where patents are rapidly focusing on. So there is also global cooperation on eco patents, which is another area that can be looked at. In biotechnology and agriculture, we see that biotech patents raise ethical and legal challenges. Yes, let's be aware of this. Who owns the genetic code of a drought-resistant plant? Is it nature? Is it the farmer or the corporation? So we have patents for drought-resistant crops. We have AI-driven genetic mapping for food security, and there are ethical concerns over GMOs and ownership. Some people are even looking for an organic aisle in the supermarket to say, no, I want potatoes, but I want organic food, and the price that we are paying. So all these raise ethical and legal challenges when it comes to biotechnology and agriculture. But all I'm saying is that there are also areas for development where we have patents for drought-resistant crops, and also being aware that genetic mapping for food security is AI-driven, it is becoming increasingly AI-driven. So those are areas that can be explored and collaboration avenues established. We can also look at knowledge transfer in terms of higher education, where universities are increasingly patent, not just discovering, but also methods of knowledge dissemination. That is when we have bridges across academia and industry, partnerships, corporations, memorandum of understanding, etc. All these are just ways that universities can act as patent incubators. They can also ensure the collaboration with industry and startups. So we see here that patents can be used by universities or higher education institutions as educational tools, as well as transformation tools in our societies. Now, how do we develop all this? What if we want to look at building research capacity? Developing countries must not be passive users, but active contributors in the global patent ecosystem. Research literacy becomes key. Empowering emerging economies with patent literacy, which is what the most recent speaker did, and did so well in terms of helping participants understand emerging, how patents can be used in emerging economies like most of our economies. There is also need for South-South knowledge exchange, and I think that is the whole point of this summit. And there is inclusive innovation ecosystems where there is encouragement of collaboration, encouragement of research and patent filing by way of establishment of teams. So AI in all this, in research design and patents, we see that it is a necessary component because AI simplifies research design and patenting process. But reliance on AI must be balanced with human critical judgment with human oversight. AI accelerates data analysis and simulation, automated patent filing and management, but there is a risk of overdependence on AI systems. As long as we are aware of how we can mitigate that, then surely why not move with the times? So universities are no longer these ivory towers. They are innovation hubs where patents catalyze entrepreneurship and collaboration. There is academic entrepreneurship that will grow, and that is growing and will grow by way of universities being incubators of patents. So there is a patent-driven innovation hubs within universities, and this collaboration is with global patent offices such as WPO, IPO, etc., including those that are within our jurisdictions. Challenges in these patent ecosystems include legal uncertainty around AI inventorship, who owns what. Please be aware of that. Let's talk about it. Ethical dilemmas of access versus ownership. This is our indigenous forest. But people come in here and they take samples and they go away and we never know of what happened after that. So these are ethical dilemmas. Cultural diversity in intellectual property systems. What is valuable? What is considered modern? What is considered primitive? So the cultural diversity in these intellectual property systems needs to be understood, needs to be explored. So these are not just technical challenges, they are societal. Solving them requires inclusive global dialogue as we are doing in this summit. So, yes, there are opportunities in the patent future where we are looking at open source and patent hybrids, where the global patent collaboration frameworks will increase starting from today's and tomorrow's presentations and connections and networking. So AI here should be looked as a partner in this inclusive innovation. So we are moving towards hybrid systems that combine open knowledge and protected patents with AI acting as the equalizer. So what is our vision 2030 plus? What is the future direction? By 2030 and beyond, our goal must be a patent system that is ethical, that is sustainable, and inclusive. Yeah? So ethical, AI-driven patents, sustainable, interdisciplinary innovations. Sustainability here, we are looking at being accessible even to future generations, and inclusive global participation in patent systems. The challenge is upon us to be part of that global system. So, in closing, I'm going to call you here to action because there is a need to balance innovation with responsibility. Let's embrace AI without losing human ethics. And collaboration. Let us collaborate for a sustainable future. With that, I would like to leave you with this, to say, let us build a future where patents not only protect innovation, but also promote global equity and sustainability. With that, I want to thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your attention. And I hope the discussion can go on when we look at the ethical side of patent application. So, yes, thank you very much for your patience.